Assalamu alaikum. You're welcome back to another episode. I'm so happy that you're still with us. If you've been following us from beginning till now, then mashallah, big thumbs up to you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you beneficial knowledge, grant you and me beneficial knowledge. Innahu waliyyu dhalika al-qadir alayh. Let's quickly have a recap as usual. We've talked about points of articulation. The first one, al-jawfu, which is the empty part of the throat down to the mouth. We've talked about the throat itself. Okay, 3 levels, right? Before we go there, al-jawfu, which letters originate from al-jawfu? Good. The letters of mad, letters of elongation. Alif mad, waw mad, ya mad. Then throat, 3 levels. First level, which letters? Hamza and ha. Second level, ain and ha. Third level, ghain and kha. Good. Then we talked about the back of the tongue. We've moved to the tongue now. Back of the tongue, 2 letters. Okay, even though they are very close to one another, but they are not coming out from the same place. Okay, so the back of the tongue touching the soft upper palate, right? Back of the tongue, we call it aqsal lisan. Touching the soft upper palate, where which letter comes from there? Good, qaf, right? Then when you move a bit forward, just a bit forward, touching the hard upper palate. Okay, that is what? Which letter? Kaf. Good. So that is that about what we've done so far. Now today we're going to go to the middle of the tongue, which we call wasatul lisan. Wasatu lisan, the middle of the tongue. So we have the tongue straight like this. We have the back, then we have the middle, then next we have the tip. Okay, the front of the tongue. The middle of the tongue, which letters comes from the middle of the tongue? Wasatul lisan. They are J-shun. So just memorize J-shun. Jim, Ya, and Shin. J-shun. You know what J-shun means, right? Okay, if you know that, you can put it in the comments or anywhere around this video. So the letters that originate from the middle part of the tongue is J-shun. Jim, Ya, and Shin. So let's pronounce them one after the other and ascertain where they're coming out from. The first one is Jim. Let us give Jim sukun. Let's bring a word that has Jim with sukun in it. So we have the word ajma'u. Aj, j, aj, j, j. If you say aj, j, aj, j, notice the middle part of the tongue, wasatul lisan, is touching the middle part of the upper palate. Al-hanakul a'la, the middle part of al-hanakul a'la, that is the upper palate, it is touching it. So middle part of the tongue is touching the middle part of the upper palate. Aj, aj. So that is where Jim comes out from. Okay, what about when it takes fatha? We have something like jalasa, ja, 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 jalasa. When it takes kasra, we have jibal, ji, 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 jibal. So, and when it takes dhamma, you can give me an example in the comments. Let's go to, we'll come back to the common errors. Okay, let's just take it once and for all. Jim, some of the common errors is that some people will say g, g. So ajma'u, some people say agma'u. I think I've met someone like that actually. So it's not something we're just cooking up. So some people say ag. So you have to train them that it's not g, it is j. If you say g, g, so that's not correct. It should be j, j. So aj ma'u. Okay, so another common error that would apply to Jim, of course, is that people don't apply the echo that comes with it. So qalqala, the echo sound, is one of the attributes of Jim because it's one of the echo letters. So when it takes sukun, you say aj ma'u. You don't say aj ma'u. Ajma'u or wasama'i dhatil buruj, no, buruj, j. So that's another mistake that comes with Jim. Okay, if I remember another one, I'll let you know. Okay, so you can tell me if there's another mistake people make also regarding any of this letter in the comments so that we can also add it later in the future. The second letter is ya. So let's give ya sukun in a word. For example, baytun, baytun. Do you understand? When it takes fatha, we have yamhaqu, yamhaqu, iyyaka na'budu, iyya. So it is not ijja. So that would be sounding like Jim, not ijja. Some people say iyyaka na'budu. That's wrong. Iyyaka na'budu. Do you understand? Are you guys? So when it takes dhamma, we have Yunus, you. So we have basically ya, yi, you, ya, yi, you. As simple as that. Okay, common mistakes. I've already talked about one of them. And it's, whenever it's take shadda, people would overstretch them and overemphasize on it. And okay, if I remember any other, common error regarding ya, then I'll add them later in the future. So we have shin. When shin takes sukun, we have something like dash khasu, dash, dash, ash, or let's just use ash, ash. So it has this spreading of words of air, and it's one of its attributes actually. Later in the future, we'll talk about the attributes of letters. So it has the attribute of spreading air. So ash. So the other two letter doesn't have it, and this is the thing we talked about, that it will differentiate the letters. Even though they come out from the same point of articulation, they will have some attribute that differentiate them from others. Aha, good. So we have ash or tesh khasu, tesh, tesh khasu. That's shin sukun. Fatha, we have shamsun, shamsun, shamsun. And then for kesra, we have shimal, shimal. Okay, so that is for what? That is for kesra, shimal. Okay. Okay. So one of the common errors is that people, sometimes they want to mix it up with sin. And some people, they can't pronounce it properly. So when you practice, it's actually something simple, because I think we have the sound already in our language. Okay. Ushi, ushi, shu, shu. What else again? If you can remember another word for that. So these are the three letters that comes from the middle of the tongue, Jaishun, jim, ya, and shin. Jim, ya, and shin. That is Jaishun. So I think that's understood. Barakallahu fikum. We'll meet in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum.